There's a lot of talent in Africa.
Celo Foundation.
Celo Foundation?
Definitely there's Celo.
Celo Foundation.
Celo Foundation.
And the Celo Foundation.
I work with the Celo Foundation as ecosystem lead for Kenya. So I first met members of the Celo team at the time, C-Labs. Here in Nairobi, there was a meetup. They were introducing the ideas around Celo. It was at the Nairobi garage. I got to meet with them. We got to learn about the protocol, opportunities within the network, and the vision behind Celo. I was quite interested at the time as a validator, which I launched a campaign for, which was quite interesting because that's how I got to learn more, especially around the whole philosophy behind it and the inspirations of Charles Eisenstein. I got to read the book at the time. That's how I got to meet with the team, get inspired by the vision, and consider contributing, specifically at the time as a validator, later on as a startup team member, and then transitioning over into a C-Labs team member, and now at Celo Foundation. It's been interesting to watch Celo grow in Kenya, just from a few initial visits with the team, then an initial pilot to explore microwork, and some initial conversations with the startup teams that were in Kenya, springing up. At the time, the Celo camp was just starting up, and 2 teams from Kenya got to join the final batch. I think they formed the inaugural Celo Kenya ecosystem. That was Kotani Pay and Pesabase. The 2 teams then grew out and blossomed to host very many users and support a very thriving ecosystem here, supporting cash in, cash out, payments, transfers, and very many other things that we've been able to do in this ecosystem, including the UBIs from Impact Market. So it has been interesting to watch the growth, starting from the initial visits, initial pilots, initial startup teams, to now a thriving ecosystem that has very many players, larger startups, larger corporations that are looking to connect with Celo, and very many more partners and a larger community that is aware of Celo, its activities, the philosophy behind it, and is interested specifically in what they can contribute. That's the sense that I do get when I get to meet with community members.
Unicorn Growth Capital is an African venture capital fund, and we focus on fintech opportunities and Web3 opportunities. And we like to say, we have a mantra we like to say, every tech company will become a fintech company. But I think to extend to that, every tech company will probably become a kind of blockchain technology company at some point. So I lead investments there. I support founders to build businesses, help them scale across Africa. I've spent the last decade building various businesses across the continent. And now I use that experience and expertise to help other founders figure out their way, scale the business, and of course, access to capital, which is very, very important for them. I started working with Celo through my network. So when they hired someone in the local ecosystem to lead the ecosystem, I was very excited, because I knew them. And I already saw the big opportunity. And I imagined of all the use cases in Africa that we could develop on the platform. So over the last year, we've been working closely, trying to identify opportunities for new companies to leverage the Celo protocol and platform. Now, that relationship has actually grown, that now Celo are one of our biggest partners in our venture capital fund. And basically, what we're trying to identify is opportunities that can drive adoption and usage of the blockchain, of Celo protocol and platform. So I think we're working more closely now than even before. We have a couple of amazing projects that we're working on. Our portfolio companies, they're constantly looking at ways to leverage the Celo platform. They're right now building, they're building on the platform, building stable coins and making crypto work for their business. So that's the relationship with Celo, and it's we're continuing to enhance that relationship, and very excited that you've decided to focus on Africa, and supporting the Africa Tech Summit is even more amazing.
I used to work for the Central Bank of the Philippines. I was a civil servant. And so monetary policy was my thing, and finance in general, like the importance of finance in growing the economy, supporting welfare improvement of the people is really crucial. And so I had a deep interest in financial inclusion and a deep interest as well in like how technologies can improve the state. I come from the Philippines, and financial inclusion is also one of the issues and key priorities that we want to achieve. And I think there's a lot of work to be done. And so when the opportunity came up, like blockchain, I'm new to blockchain. I didn't know, I'm not a programmer, a coder, but I saw its potential to kind of like, in a way, erase borders, as well as like unleash a lot of potential in the world in terms of financial inclusion. And that's how I joined. And I've enjoyed my work at Celo so far because we're really exploring how the technology, how cryptocurrency and blockchain can influence or like transform the way we're doing things right now. So our goal at the Celo Foundation, of course, in support of our mission to create a financial system that creates conditions for prosperity for everyone, is really to find ideas to catalyze wider adoption of Celo as a blockchain and as a cryptocurrency, our stable coins. And so our role at the Research and Innovation Circle is to test ideas, to find use cases, to demonstrate that indeed our technology can be useful in our everyday life. And we do this by partnering with organizations, big humanitarian organizations, non-government organizations, as well as like governments and private entities in exploring use cases, remittances, work compensation for salaries, supporting micro-entrepreneurs. And our vision is really to create proofs of concept that, like we can use this in our everyday life and it can be transformative. It can really bring value to the people. The other way we're doing this, of course, is we want Celo to be a thought leader in the space. And so we do research. We try to kind of like shape the conversation of where blockchain should head. Instead of it just like being a technology that exists, we want it to really bring benefits and transform how we do things today. And hopefully, like through our work at Research Innovation, like being on the ground, as well as like being part of the conversations, we're able to do that.
The name Beats Mama was actually inspired by some of my customers. Yeah, so they actually thought I was an older woman. So that was why they called me Beats Mama. So it was not until later, because then we're all on Telegram, we weren't seeing our faces, but we just worked with each other based on trust. So and performed P2P transactions. So, but after a while, when they then knew who I was, but it didn't just stuck and Beats Mama. So when I was actually registering the company, I was like, what do I call this company? I was like, oh, why not just call it Beats Mama? And that was how we went ahead. So currently we are in Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya. And something we didn't think about, but coming here kind of opened our eyes that maybe we need to also be in other East African countries, right? So, but we're trying to take it step by step. So maybe our next step will definitely be expanding more East African countries, then also more West African countries apart from just Ghana. Beats Mama enables users off-ramp and on-ramp, cash in and cash out. So basically what happens is if I do have my fiat, I either buy Bitcoin or crypto, not just Bitcoin, because definitely they sell it. Yeah, I either buy crypto, or if I have crypto, I sell my crypto and someone else gives me fiat. And also it works same way based on remittance, right? You're able to send CUSD from one place to another, and the person on the other hand, the receiving hand, receives their local fiat currencies at the end of the day. Yeah.
I'm CEO of Emerging Impacts, and we're a DeFi-based neobank providing financial services to the most underserved communities in the world, mainly focused on smallholder farmers across Africa. So one, Celo Foundation, an amazing partner. I can't say that enough. And honestly, having worked in a lot of different blockchain ecosystems, I can quite literally say is one of the most mission-aligned ecosystems in terms of wanting to create impact and create an ecosystem where that's actually carried out pragmatically. And so with the Celo Foundation, we actually have done 3 pilots. So one is in Haiti, one is in Ecuador, and one is in Kenya, which finished later last year. And respectively, they're with Hope for Haiti in Haiti, CARE International in Ecuador, and Polish Humanitarian Action in Kenya. And all of them focus on how can you distribute value digitally in extremely rural areas or very low-tech environments. So it really focuses on how you can design impactful solutions in ways that leverage blockchain technology, but still focus on the end user in terms of access. And most of those pilots obviously focus in the context of humanitarian aid, but of course, the Kenyan one focuses on cash for work.
I work with Utafiti, which is a digital asset investment advisory firm, also with Bitcoin Africa IO as the Chief Community Officer. Celo fits right in because by making payment easier for people and reducing transaction costs, it's a definite win, because if I know that I can get more value for my money per every transaction, I'm empowered directly to do more. And if we talk about the importance of economic empowerment, not only for students but small businesses, then that's right where you'd want to be, not just as an organization. And of course, that's where Celo fits in. Celo has had a partnership with Kotani Pay, with Pesabase, and several other organizations that are working in the African market to serve solutions. And definitely, this has come in the at the right time for peer-to-peer transactions, because peer-to-peer transactions are one of the huge ways that people transact, not only for business transactions, but also personal remittances, be it for family, healthcare, education. So Celo comes in right at the right time in the East African markets.
I was working at Uganda Telecom in the customer interfacing roles, because I was handling a lot of client relationship management, business, wholesale, trying to kind of get telecom products sold over there. But it's actually that background in telecom that got me into crypto, because it's a very simple crossover from there. It's all tech. And once I got the opportunity that Celo presented, I was able to simply jump in on this. Back in the day, my role was a community manager, and this is what the job ad was on LinkedIn. So one day I'm going through the job ads on LinkedIn, and something comes up very interestingly: community manager, blockchain startup, has a very ambitious mission, and they're looking for somebody local to Uganda. I'm like, wow. This is like, I think 2020, just before COVID hit. And once I saw this job placement, I was simply taken aback, because I was trying to get into crypto, but I didn't really get the fit that I wanted then. Then here comes this, and it's local to Uganda, Kampala, just like, wow, everything simply checks in. So I applied, did a couple of interviews there, and I came out successful, and here we are, almost 2 years later. The Celo community in Uganda, thinking from where we started from, it's really a grassroots movement, as the general ecosystem of cryptocurrencies and blockchain communities in Uganda is really small, but it's mostly bootstrapped by the people there. So if I think back around April 2020 to Feb 2022 today, we have really grown in leaps and bounds, and it's really been a grassroots movement. We had a few meetups here and there, trying to leverage the community from folks that I've been able to work with in the past, and also trying to connect them to what we're building here. And the mission of Celo is easily sellable. It's something that people can easily connect with, and everyone is trying to kind of get a better financial system for themselves. So we're trying to leverage those synergies from what Celo presents, and we've been able to grow it organically. So saying that we came into the ecosystem from COVID, we didn't really have physical meetups because of the SOPs and restrictions around that. But now that things are being a bit lifted, we're able to do more of that. So we're having physical on-site meetups, being able to meet people face to face, get organic interactions going, and that's really, it's really good. Something I used to take for granted back in the day. So yeah, the community is growing. I think if I'm to count, it will be around 200 plus individuals who are either coming to events, asking questions, and also active on our socials.
I have funny stories. So I actually saw a post on one of the cryptocurrencies, so I'd say WhatsApp groups, and it actually said Libra's rival. So that was Facebook's rival. So I was like, oh, let me have a look at this. But then I first went and watched the Prosperity for Everyone video. And I was like, I want to be part of this. So fortunately, there was a position for South Africa and I applied for it. And that's how I got into Celo. So if you think about South Africa, you're talking about mainly Johannesburg and Cape Town. So if you're looking at the developer community, you're most likely to find them in Cape Town, I would say at the Stellenbosch University. So it's those students. It's kind of a privileged community that is into the developing of products and other things. And then you have the Johannesburg side, which is more of the consumers, right? And I'm talking about consumers, I'm talking about multi-level marketing. So there's been a lot of scams in South Africa because people are excited for opportunities and they think, oh, I'm gonna make money. So when they think about crypto, they think money-making scheme. And they always go for that. No matter how many times they get burnt, they're always moving from one thing to another. So I'll say that is the general landscape, though there are people that are coming up with some good ideas. I've seen some tech hubs looking at crypto, but generally that's the ecosystem in South Africa. Okay, so I think with Celo in South Africa, the community firstly got started with events, online events. So I think it was a very strategic time. That was the time during the lockdown. The lockdown was very, very strict and people had time on their hands. So I created a series of African-based Celo events and people had time to attend. So that's how it got started and that's how we started getting some more awareness around Celo in South Africa.
I joined the Celo Foundation in 2020, and since then we have started working on different partnerships with different companies, doing on and off ramp solution, building developers community, doing education, I'm working on different initiatives to make sure that we are growing the Celo ecosystem in Nigeria and across West Africa and Africa. Right now, we have quite a number of partners, including Bitmama, Yellow Card, Paxful, we have Niger Crypto, Bandless Pay, Semicolon Africa, quite a number of partners actually that are doing different things. Like I mentioned earlier, cash in, cash outs are there, like a partner like Bitmama currently in Nigeria also offers solutions for Ghana and also offers solutions for Kenya. And with this, we are able to do cash in and cash out for Celo stable assets in this country. So we definitely still have a long way to go, but of course, we are moving forward a little bit as time goes on. Actually, my role is not just to lead the entire ecosystem. My role is actually to help other eco leads that we have in different regions like Kenya, Uganda, South Africa. And myself, I actually lead from Nigeria, and then we're looking to onboard different ambassadors for other primary markets we are focusing on. So I realized that we have been doing a lot of things to grow the Celo ecosystem in Africa. If you look at some of the pilots that we have run in Kenya over the years, with the one with the United Nations with WFP. I mean, a lot of strategies that we are bringing on board, like what our Uganda ecosystem lead is doing in Uganda with the NFTs program, and then we are running campus ambassadors in Nigeria as well. So we have been doing different events to build the community, to do cash in and cash out, to understand, to make sure that the Celo ecosystem have very, very engaging community across Africa. And with this, some of the things we also envision to do is, the climate collective things that we also working on. We are trying as much as possible to make sure that we strike partnership with different climate collective companies within Africa to make sure that we are not just talking about prosperity for everyone from our mouth alone, but we are acting it to the core. And for this also we have a lot of plans coming up, and like I said earlier, we are working with different alliance members across Africa. So we are planning to, to engage with these alliance members to understand how we can support them, how we can, help them, to grow the Celo ecosystem across Africa. And then we are also always open to, talk with different founders across Africa, different breeders community, to kind of like bring them on board into the Celo ecosystem to build more solutions that work for everyone, just as we always work towards building prosperity for everyone. So we are still having this mission, and we look forward to, keep doing this for the Africa ecosystem in Celo.